Part 1: The Mysterious Beginning. Emma Johnson was known for her fearless nature. At 16, she had already made a name for herself at Ridgewood High for her daring stunts, witty remarks, and a wardrobe that seemed to defy every fashion norm. She wasn't just bold in her fashion choices, she was also unapologetically herself, a trait that made her both admired and envied by her peers. It was a crisp October morning when Emma's life took an unexpected turn. The leaves crunched underfoot as she walked down the school hallway, her red leather jacket gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Her day was already off to a great start. She had aced her calculus test, and her favorite coffee shop had just introduced a new pumpkin spice latte. Little did she know, this would be the day everything changed. As Emma approached her locker, she noticed a small envelope wedged into the crack between the door and the frame. It was cream-colored, with no name or return address. Curiosity piqued, she carefully pulled it out and examined it. The envelope was sealed with a heart-shaped sticker, and inside, there was a single sheet of paper. With a playful smirk, Emma unfolded the note. It read, "Dear Emma, from the moment I saw you, I knew you were someone special. Your laughter is contagious, and your spirit is captivating. I've admired you from afar, and today, I'm taking the bold step to tell you how I feel. I hope you don't find this too forward, but I couldn't keep my feelings a secret any longer. Yours truly, a secret admirer." Emma's eyebrows shot up in surprise. Who could this secret admirer be? Her mind raced with possibilities. Was it one of the popular boys who had always seemed to be just out of reach? Or perhaps it was someone from the student council, someone who had seen her in a different light? She tucked the letter into her bag, her curiosity burning brighter than ever. Throughout her morning classes, Emma's thoughts kept drifting back to the letter. It was both thrilling and puzzling. As she sat in English class, her teacher droned on about Shakespeare, but Emma's mind was elsewhere. She couldn't help but wonder about the identity of her admirer and what his intentions might be. Was he genuinely interested in her, or was this some sort of elaborate prank? The bell rang, signaling the end of class, and Emma hurried to her locker. As she was about to open it, she noticed another envelope in the same spot. This one was different, darker in color, with a silver ribbon tied around it. Her heart raced as she opened it, revealing another note. "Dear Emma, I'm glad you received my letter. I hope it made you smile. I've been waiting for the right moment to reveal myself, but I'm not quite ready yet. For now, I just wanted to let you know that my admiration for you is sincere. Please meet me at the old oak tree by the schoolyard after class. Until then, yours truly, a secret admirer." Emma's mind whirled with questions. Why the secrecy? Why meet at the old oak tree, a place she had never given much thought to? The oak tree had always seemed like just another part of the schoolyard, but now it felt like the center of a mysterious game she was being pulled into. The rest of her classes seemed to drag on, each minute stretching into eternity as she waited for the final bell to ring. Her anticipation was a mix of excitement and trepidation. What if this was all some elaborate joke? What if she was about to be humiliated in front of everyone? Finally, the end of the school day arrived. Emma gathered her things and made her way to the schoolyard. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows across the field. As she approached the old oak tree, she saw it in a new light. Its branches seemed to stretch out like inviting arms, waiting to reveal its secrets. She took a deep breath and walked towards the tree. The area was quiet, save for the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. Emma glanced around, her eyes scanning for any sign of her admirer. Her heart raced with every step. Just as she was beginning to think she had been stood up, she heard a voice behind her. It was soft and slightly nervous. "Emma?" She turned around to find a boy she recognized from her history class, Jason Miller, a guy known for his shy demeanor and impressive academic achievements. He was holding another envelope in his hand, his face flushed with a mix of embarrassment and hope. "Jason?" Emma asked, her voice tinged with surprise. "You're the one who's been sending me these letters?" Jason nodded, looking both relieved and nervous. "I didn't know how to approach you, so I thought maybe writing you letters would be a good start. I've admired you for a long time, Emma. Your confidence, your creativity, it's inspiring." Emma's initial shock began to fade, replaced by a warm feeling in her chest. She had always thought of Jason as a quiet, reserved student, not someone who would harbor such bold feelings. "Wow, Jason. I didn't expect this. I mean, I didn't even know you liked me." Jason took a tentative step forward, his gaze meeting hers. "I know this might seem sudden, and I'm sorry if it's too forward. I just wanted to let you know how I feel. I've been too shy to say anything in person, but I couldn't keep it a secret any longer." Emma smiled, her curiosity about Jason growing. "I appreciate your honesty, Jason. It's definitely not what I expected, but I think it's kind of sweet." Jason's expression brightened slightly. "So, would you be interested in maybe going out for coffee sometime? I'd love to get to know you better." Emma considered his offer. She had always admired people who were brave enough to express their feelings, and Jason's sincerity was refreshing. "Sure, I'd like that." As they walked away from the oak tree together, Emma couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. She had no idea where this new chapter might lead, but she was ready to explore the possibilities. Part 2: The Unraveling Mystery. The days that followed Emma's unexpected revelation were a whirlwind of emotions. Her interactions with Jason became a pleasant part of her routine. Their coffee dates were filled with laughter, engaging conversations, and the kind of easy companionship that made Emma feel both excited and comfortable. Jason's shy demeanor gradually melted away in her presence, revealing a thoughtful and kind-hearted individual she had never known before. Despite the growing connection between them, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Jason's admiration than met the eye. The secret admirer's letters had hinted at a deeper connection and hinted at something still undisclosed. Emma found herself constantly pondering over the mysteries that remained unsolved. One chilly Friday afternoon, as Emma and Jason sat in their favorite corner of the local coffee shop, Emma decided it was time to address her lingering curiosity. "Jason," she began, her tone playful yet earnest, "I've been meaning to ask you something. You said you've admired me for a long time. But what made you decide to finally let me know? And why the secrecy?" Jason looked down at his coffee cup, his fingers tracing the rim nervously. "I guess I've always been a bit of a coward," he admitted with a chuckle. "I've admired you from afar, but I was too afraid to say anything. I didn't know how you'd react, and I didn't want to risk ruining our friendship if things didn't go well. Emma nodded, her curiosity piqued. I understand that. But what about the letters? Why did you choose to write them? Jason hesitated for a moment before speaking. The letters were my way of expressing what I couldn't say in person. I wanted to give you time to process my feelings without the pressure of a face-to-face conversation. Plus, I thought it might be a fun and romantic way to do it. Emma smiled, touched by his thoughtfulness. Well, I have to say, it definitely made things interesting. And I'm glad you took the risk. Their conversation drifted to lighter topics, but Emma couldn't shake the feeling that there was still something Jason wasn't telling her. She decided to give him time and space, hoping he would eventually open up. The following Monday, as Emma was heading to her locker, she noticed a familiar sight, another envelope, this one slightly larger and adorned with a blue ribbon. Her heart skipped a beat. Could it be another letter from Jason, or was it from someone else entirely? She eagerly opened it and found a letter addressed not to her, but to Jason. Curiosity got the better of her, and she read the letter carefully. Dear Jason, I hope you're doing well. I've been following your progress and am pleased to see that you've taken the bold step to reveal your feelings to Emma. However, I must remind you that there are more layers to this story than you might think. Keep your eyes and heart open, for there are surprises in store. Yours sincerely, a secret admirer. Emma's heart raced. Who had sent this letter, and what did it mean? She knew she had to talk to Jason about it, but she wasn't sure how to bring it up without seeming intrusive. The sense of mystery surrounding Jason's admiration had only deepened. Later that day, as they walked home from school together, Emma decided to broach the subject. Hey, Jason, she said casually, I found another letter today. It was addressed to you, not me. Jason's face turned pale. Oh. What did it say? Emma hesitated for a moment before showing him the letter. Jason read it, his expression growing more serious with each line. When he finished, he looked up at Emma, his eyes filled with concern. This letter, it's more cryptic than the others, Jason said. I don't know who sent it or what they're referring to. But it sounds like there's something more going on. Emma nodded in agreement. I think we should try to find out who's behind all of this. It's clear that our secret admirer knows something we don't. Jason looked thoughtful. I agree. But how do we go about finding them? Emma tapped her chin thoughtfully. Well, we could start by looking for any clues around school. Maybe the admirer has left something behind or made a mistake that could give us a lead. They decided to start their investigation the next day. As they combed through their school's hallways and classrooms, they looked for anything unusual or out of place. They checked the library, the cafeteria, and even the school garden, but found no obvious clues. After a long day of searching, they met up at their favorite cafe to discuss their findings. Both were tired but determined. I've been thinking, Emma said, maybe our secret admirer isn't just someone from school. What if there's someone from outside? Someone who knows us but isn't directly involved with our daily lives? Jason looked intrigued. That's an interesting idea. But how would we find someone like that? Emma smiled mischievously. Well, if our admirer is someone who knows us well, they might have a connection to our social circles. Maybe someone from our past or a friend of a friend? Jason considered this for a moment. You might be onto something. Let's start by talking to some of our friends and see if they know anything unusual. The following days were filled with covert conversations with their friends. They discreetly asked about anyone who might have shown an unusual interest in their lives or had been acting strangely. Most of their friends were puzzled and had no useful information. One evening, as Emma and Jason were walking through a park, Emma's phone buzzed with a new message. It was from an unknown number, with no name or identification. The message read, "I hope you're enjoying the adventure. Don't forget, the truth lies in the details. Look closer at the ones who have always been there for you." Emma showed the message to Jason, and they both looked at each other in confusion. "What does that mean?" Jason asked. "The truth lies in the details?" Emma thought for a moment. Maybe it's suggesting that the answers we seek are closer than we think. It could be pointing us toward someone who's always been around us. As they pondered the message, they noticed a familiar face walking towards them, Lily, one of Emma's closest friends. Lily had always been supportive and had an uncanny ability to offer advice when needed. Emma felt a sudden pang of realization. Could it be Lily? She had been a steadfast friend throughout Emma's ups and downs, always there with a kind word or a listening ear. Emma decided it was worth a conversation. "Hey, Lily," Emma called out as they approached her. "Do you have a moment? We've been trying to solve a little mystery, and we could use your help." Lily looked intrigued and agreed to meet with them later that evening. Over coffee, Emma and Jason explained their situation and showed her the letters and the mysterious message. Lily listened attentively, her eyes widening with each new detail. When they finished, she took a deep breath. "I had no idea you were dealing with something like this," Lily said. "But I might have some information that could help. Recently, I overheard a conversation that seemed a bit strange. Two of our classmates were talking about someone who had been really invested in finding the perfect way to confess their feelings. They were discussing different methods and how they could make it memorable." Emma and Jason exchanged glances. This was a significant lead. "Do you remember who they were talking about?" Emma asked eagerly. Lily nodded. "Yes, it was Mark and Sarah. They've been talking about love and relationships quite a bit lately. Maybe they're involved in this somehow." Emma and Jason thanked Lily for the information and decided to investigate further. They planned to speak with Mark and Sarah the next day, hoping to uncover more about their possible involvement in the mystery of the secret admirer. Part 3: The Unveiling Truth. The following day at school, Emma and Jason approached Mark and Sarah with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Mark was a tall, athletic guy known for his charisma, while Sarah was a friendly and outspoken girl who had a knack for organizing school events. Both were known for their involvement in various school activities, which made them prime suspects in their search for the secret admirer. Emma and Jason found Mark and Sarah in the school courtyard, sitting together on a bench, discussing plans for the upcoming school dance. Emma took a deep breath and walked up to them. "Hey, Mark, Sarah," Emma greeted, trying to sound casual. Do you have a minute? We need to talk to you about something. Mark and Sarah looked up, their expressions a mix of curiosity and concern. Sure, what's up? Mark asked, adjusting his baseball cap. Emma and Jason exchanged a quick glance before Emma began. We've been receiving these mysterious love letters at school. They're signed by a secret admirer, and we've been trying to figure out who's behind them. We heard you two were talking about someone confessing their feelings recently, and we were wondering if you might know anything about it. Sarah's eyes widened, and she exchanged a look with Mark. Oh, that's interesting. We didn't know it was causing such a fuss, Sarah said. We've been discussing how to make a confession special, but we haven't actually sent any letters ourselves. Mark nodded in agreement. Yeah, we were just brainstorming ideas. We never thought anyone would actually take our suggestions seriously. Emma and Jason were taken aback. So, you're saying you haven't sent any letters? Emma asked, trying to gauge their sincerity. Absolutely not, Mark confirmed. We're just two students talking about ideas. If we had sent anything, we'd definitely let you know. Emma and Jason thanked them for their time and decided to continue their investigation. The revelation that Mark and Sarah were not involved left them with more questions than answers. If not Mark and Sarah, then who could be behind the letters? As they walked away from the courtyard, Emma noticed a familiar figure sitting alone on a nearby bench, Lily. She seemed lost in thought, her expression pensive. Emma decided to approach her. Hey, Lily, Emma said, sitting down beside her. We just spoke with Mark and Sarah. They said they weren't involved in sending the letters. Lily looked up, her eyes thoughtful. I was actually thinking about what you said. If Mark and Sarah weren't involved, then who could be? Emma sighed. That's what we're trying to figure out. The messages we've received suggest that the answer is closer than we think, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Lily nodded. Maybe you should think about who else might be interested in creating such a romantic and mysterious scenario. Sometimes the answer is hidden in plain sight. Emma pondered Lily's words. You're right. We need to consider everyone we interact with regularly. Maybe the admirer is someone we know well, someone who has been around us for a long time. The next day, Emma and Jason decided to review their social circles, looking for anyone who might have had a motive to send the letters. They talked to their friends, classmates, and even some teachers, trying to gather any useful information. One evening, as Emma was going through her old photos and mementos, she stumbled upon a diary she had kept during her freshman year. Flipping through the pages, she came across an entry that caught her eye. It was about a friend named Max, who had been a close confidant during her early high school days. Max had always been supportive and had an old-fashioned sense of romance. Emma remembered he had been quite secretive about his own feelings at times. Could Max be the one behind the letters? Emma decided to contact him. She hadn't spoken to Max in a while, but she remembered their past conversations and how he had always been interested in the concept of romantic gestures. The next afternoon, Emma and Jason met Max at a local park where they used to hang out. Max was now a junior, involved in various extracurricular activities. He greeted them with a friendly smile. "Hey, Emma, Jason. Long time no see," Max said, giving them a hug. "What's up?" Emma took a deep breath. "We need to talk to you about something a bit unusual. We've been receiving these mysterious love letters at school, and we think someone we know might be behind them." Max looked surprised. "Love letters? That's intriguing. I don't know anything about them, but if I can help, I will." Emma and Jason explained the situation, showing him the letters and the mysterious messages. Max listened carefully, his expression thoughtful. "I can see why you'd think it might be me," Max said, "but honestly, I haven't sent any letters. I've been too busy with school and my own projects. If I had known someone needed help with a romantic gesture, I would have been happy to assist, but I swear I'm not involved in this." Emma and Jason appreciated Max's honesty and decided to keep searching. They felt a growing sense of frustration, but they were determined to uncover the truth. A few days later, Emma received another letter, this time in a dark green envelope. Her heart raced as she opened it, revealing a note. "Dear Emma, I hope you're not feeling discouraged. The mystery is meant to be a journey, and sometimes the path isn't straightforward. Think about those who have been by your side all along. The answer might lie with someone you least expect. Yours sincerely, a secret admirer." Emma and Jason were puzzled. The message seemed to suggest that the admirer was someone who had been with them for a long time, but who could it be? Emma decided to take a step back and think about the people in her life. She recalled all the interactions she had had, both big and small. The answer seemed to elude her, but she was determined to find it. That evening, Emma and Jason met at their favorite cafe, discussing their next steps. Emma's phone buzzed with a new message from Lily. The message read, "Hey, Emma, I've been thinking about your situation. Maybe the admirer is someone who's always been a part of your life, someone you might overlook. Sometimes, the most obvious answers are right in front of us. Good luck." Emma and Jason looked at each other with renewed determination. Could Lily be suggesting that the admirer was someone they had overlooked? They needed to think carefully about everyone in their lives. As they continued their investigation, Emma's thoughts kept returning to the idea of someone being right in front of them. She decided to focus on her close friends and family, trying to piece together any clues that might lead them to the truth. Part 4: The Unexpected Revelation. As the investigation continued, Emma and Jason found themselves increasingly engrossed in their quest to uncover the identity of the secret admirer. Despite their best efforts, the clues remained elusive and the mystery seemed to deepen. Emma decided to take Lily's advice seriously. She made a list of people who had always been a significant part of her life, from childhood friends to family members. Jason joined her in reviewing the list, trying to find any connections or unusual behaviors that might suggest a hidden admirer. One evening, as Emma and Jason were discussing their list, Emma's phone buzzed with a notification. It was from her younger brother, Alex, who was 14 and had always been a cheerful and supportive presence in her life. The message read, "Hey, Emma, I heard you've been dealing with some mystery letters. I know it's not much, but I found something that might help. Check your room's windowsill. It's something I've been keeping safe for you." Emma's curiosity was piqued. She shared the message with Jason, and they decided to check it out immediately. Arriving at Emma's house, they headed to her room and looked at the windowsill. There, they found a small, weathered box. Emma carefully opened the box, revealing a collection of old letters and mementos from her childhood. Among them was a letter addressed to her, written in neat handwriting. Emma recognized the handwriting instantly. It was Max's. The letter read, "Dear Emma, I've always admired you from afar, but I've been too shy to express my feelings. I've kept these letters as a way to remind myself of the moments we've shared and the admiration I've had for you. I hope someday you'll understand why I've kept them hidden. Yours sincerely, Max." Emma's heart raced. It seemed that Max had indeed been a secret admirer, but there was more to the story than she had initially thought. The letters were a testament to his feelings, but why had he chosen to express them in such a cryptic way? Emma and Jason decided to talk to Max one more time. They met him at the park where they had first discussed the mystery. Emma held the letter in her hand as she approached him. "Max, we found something interesting," Emma began. "I found this letter you wrote to me from a box of old mementos. It seems you've had feelings for me for a while, but why didn't you just tell me directly?" Max looked surprised and a bit embarrassed. "I didn't expect you to find those. I wrote them during a time when I was unsure of my feelings. I wanted to keep them as a reminder of my admiration, but I didn't know how to bring them up in person." Jason, who had been listening intently, spoke up. "Max, we appreciate your honesty, but why the secrecy? Why not just let Emma know directly?" Max took a deep breath. "I guess I was afraid of rejection. I didn't want to risk ruining our friendship or making things awkward. I thought if I left clues and let you find out in your own time, it would give you the space to process my feelings without pressure." Emma's heart softened. She had always known Max as a caring friend, and now she understood his actions better. "Max, I appreciate the sentiment, and I understand why you did what you did. But if you had just talked to me directly, it might have been less confusing." Max nodded, his expression relieved. "I know. I should have been more straightforward. I'm sorry for any confusion I may have caused." Emma smiled warmly. "Thank you for being honest. I value our friendship, and I hope we can move past this and continue to be friends." Max smiled back, looking grateful. "Of course. I'm glad we could talk about this." As Emma and Jason walked away from the park, Emma felt a sense of closure. The mystery had been solved, and she appreciated Max's honesty and courage. The journey had taught her valuable lessons about communication and the importance of being open with one's feelings. That evening, Emma received a text from Lily. It read, "Hey, Emma, I'm glad you figured out the mystery. Sometimes the answers we seek are right in front of us, and it takes a bit of courage to confront them. I hope you're doing well. Let's catch up soon." Emma responded with a heartfelt message of gratitude. She felt a renewed sense of clarity and resolution. The journey of uncovering the secret admirer had been a roller coaster of emotions, but it had ultimately brought her closer to understanding herself and those around her. As she reflected on the experience, Emma realized that the true essence of the mystery wasn't just about uncovering the identity of the secret admirer. It was about the journey of self-discovery, the importance of honesty, and the value of genuine connections. Emma and Jason continued their friendship, now with a deeper understanding of each other. The mystery had brought them closer, and they looked forward to new adventures together. In the end, the secret admirer's dilemma had been a lesson in bravery, honesty, and the beauty of human connections. Emma was grateful for the experience and the growth it had brought her. The end.